This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I'll tell you who isn't going to be a backup, and that's Cam Newton. And it's an interesting dynamic with Cam Newton as he's a free agent now. And he called himself a fish out of water. And, you know, some Dolphins, speaking of fish, which it's really a porpoise, but whatever. It's a mammal, I'm sorry. The Dolphins, or the Dolphin, I'm sorry, several Dolphins out there, maybe some of you that are watching right now on YouTube, some of you have mentioned to me we should get Cam. And we had this conversation before. I told you Cam doesn't fit what they do. You have to change the entire offense for him. And then if he gets injured, your backup probably is not like him. So like Rosen, if Rosen's Cam's backup, what does that do for you, dude? Rosen can't do what Cam does. Fitz can't do what Cam does, right? And Cam can't do what Fitz does. You know, that's the weird thing, because Cam is not a natural passer. He's an athlete with the ball in his hands, not an accurate guy. And so he was asked about free agency, but there's a bigger problem for whoever is interested in Cam, okay? And he talked about it. He goes, look, man, there's so much possibility for me right now, but the fact that this corona situation has hit, I'm not a person to blame or do any of that things, man. It's business. But at the same time, I think I've been affected in a lot of ways, and it's just unfortunate. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna go let the ball play, and how it plays, man, I'll go from there. I'm in uncharted waters for the first time in my career. You know what I'm saying? He turns 31 next month, and he says, I've really taken the time to become stronger mentally, physically, and spiritually. I think that it's more important than anything, man. I've gained this interest in mediating every morning, and it's time for me. I'm a fish out of water. I've never not known anything other than the Carolina Panthers, and now it's like I want God to direct my path and put me in a position where I can thrive and be myself. But on top of that, it's still about becoming better. So, all the right things are said there. He's doing all the right things to kind of work himself through all of this. But the one thing is that if you bring Cam aboard, example, let's say you bring him aboard to the Dolphins. They're not. I don't want it, but let's just have some fun because we have a lot of Dolphins watching and listening and things like that. So I want to give you guys examples of why it doesn't work, let's say, for the Dolphins. Okay, let's say you draft the Tua, and no fits here. You draft Tua, but he's injured. You want Cam in there for now. Cam is not going to be the guy that's going to have an attitude like, well, yeah, you know, I'll play for a couple games and then you'll get Tua in there. He's not going to do that. His ego is not going to allow him to do that. Cam Newton won an MVP. Cam Newton got to a Super Bowl. Cam Newton has been a player in this league. His style of play has been successful to a certain extent here. He's had more success than Andy Dalton, than Ryan Tannehill, than a slew of just jag quarterbacks all over the place. And he knows that. So how do you tell somebody that can look you in the eye and say, man, I've won 10 games several times. I've been to the playoffs several times. I've won an MVP. I've gotten to the Super Bowl. You know, all these kind of things. And so you're going to when you bring Cam on, you are going to bring on an ego. It's not a bad ego. It's just a confident guy. And you can't take that away from him because the dude carried Auburn to a championship. And then the guy has balled in the NFL at times. So none of us can deny that the dude is a good football player. He is. You and I can have a discussion. We can go back and forth and talk about that Cam isn't a great passer. And I'll go to the grave with that one. He's inaccurate. But if you want to cater to that style, then go for it. But see, if you're the Bears, it probably behooves you to bring that guy in. Problem is, they wanted to bring in a guy to compete with Mitch Trubisky. Cam Newton would walk in and say, get out of here, bro. That guy isn't competition for me. Mitch Trubisky. I'm not here to compete with him. I'm better than him. That's what he's going to tell Pace right there and then. And Nagy and Pace are going to look at each other and like, Nick Foles came in and was like, with the tie and a nice guy, and he picks up the phone and, hey, Mitch, how you doing, buddy? Hey, man, this is Nick Foles, man. Listen, I know that this is a little bit uncomfortable, but I want to be friends. Let's compete. Let's have some fun. Let's make the Bears better. If you're the better man, then I'm here to back you up and support you. If I win, I hope I can get the same from you. Do you think you're going to get that conversation from Cam Newton? No. Even though the Bears would be better with Cam Newton than any of those two fools. Okay? All right? Nothing personal against Mitch. And Nick Foles, I know for a fact, is an incredible human being. I don't want either one of them as my quarterback. All right? Nick Foles already had his luck. He hit his lotto. Okay, he won the Super Bowl. He got lucky, whatever. It's over. You had your run. But that's the problem when you bring on Cam. You're bringing on, look, you can't sit with him and meet with him. You can't work him out right now. You can't really look at that foot to see how healthy it is. But then on the other side, you have to also handle the ego. And again, I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it that Cam Newton deserves to have an ego. He has earned an ego. The dude has balled. Unlike Jameis Winston, who thinks he's a baller. Okay? No. Cam Newton is a baller. Because when you're inaccurate and yet your athleticism allows you to overcome that and have the success you've had, you're a baller, dude. And I watched you carry Auburn to a championship, bro. You are a baller. And he knows that. Now, he may not be as good in certain areas, and if you need that, then you got the wrong guy. But if you're going to bring Cam Newton on, be ready for the ego. Okay? Be ready for that ego.